Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Code Ordinance Enforcement Board meeting for December the 10th, 2024. And at this time, we'd like to ask our clerk to call the roll, please.
Rodney Davis,
Here.
James Bruce,
Here.
Tyler Young, Tony Meacham,
Here.
David Howe.
Here.
Cowan Brooks, Connie McGahee, Mark Graham.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. At this time, would everyone please stand with me as we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on our agenda, approval of minutes from our last meeting on November the 12th, 2024. Board members received a copy of the minutes in the mail, and at this time, we will entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the minutes from last meeting.
Okay, it's been motion and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, any reports from staff, fire department staff? None? Any reports from staff?
Nope.
None? Okay. All right, okay, we have some hearings on our agenda. First up, Code Officer is Tommy Holeman. It's case number EZZON 24-10-001. Denise Henderson. Is Ms. Henderson present? Okay, all right, okay. Let me, before anyone gets up started, let me share with you, give you some instructions, some procedures we're going to follow tonight on the cases, and then we'll call that first case. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Rodney Davis. I am the chairman of the City of Hopkinsville Code Ordinance Enforcement Board. The purpose of this board is to protect, promote, and improve the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens residing within the City of Hopkinsville. If a board member perceives a potential conflict with hearing a case, he or she shall recuse themselves from the case and will not discuss their disposition. When your name is called, please come forward. Speak loudly and clearly because we are required to record all proceedings from these hearings. You are here tonight because you received the citation and chose to appear before the board instead of paying the fine imposed on the citation. You have the right to confront and cross-examine any witnesses that might appear here against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses to testify on your behalf and to introduce any physical evidence you feel pertinent to this case. You have the right to have an attorney. If you wish to hire one to represent you, let me know, and I will request the board postpone your case to enable you to do so. I have the right as chairman of the board to limit the amount of testimony which is presented. That shall be done when I determine that certain testimony is irrelevant or is repetitive. This is not the same as a court of law, and legal rules of evidence do not have to be followed. This is similar to an administrative hearing, and the requirements for the introduction of evidence are not as stringent as in a court of law, but they are nonetheless just as important to ensure a just decision. You shall be afforded all rights which are of fundamental importance to comply with the process, with due process standards of fairness and justice. The burden of establishing the violation occurred rests with the city. If the city cannot prove a violation took place, no fine or remedial measures may be imposed. After all the evidence and testimony have been introduced and the hearing has been closed, the board will make a decision. The board will decide whether or not a violation of a local ordinance has been committed. If the board determines no violation was committed, then this board will enter an order dismissing the citation. If the board determines that a violation did take place, the board will enter an order upholding the citation and will order you to pay a fine in an amount up to the maximum authorized by ordinance and may order you to remedy the violation within a specified period of time. In cases involving unsafe structures, the board, as part of its decision and written order, may additionally make a provision for the offender to cure the violation within a period of time not to exceed 90 days pursuant to HCO 33.188F. Except in cases of default, any final order issued by the board may be appealed to the Christian District Court. The appeal must be filed no later than 30 days from the date the board issues its final order. The case in front of the Christian District Court will be limited to a review of the record created before this board. If you have any questions at this time, please feel free to ask. Go. No questions? Okay, so once again, we want to call the first case, Mr. Holloman, the code officer, and Ms. Henderson. If y'all, Mr. Holloman is present, are you? Oh, okay. Come on forward. Okay, Ms. Henderson, you can just stay right there because we're gonna let the code officer present the case first, and then we'll allow you to present. But I do need to swear you both in. So if you would, both please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do. Okay, thank you. Ma'am, you can have a seat. Okay, before you can start, yeah, could you please state your full name, employer, and position for the record?
Peter Wood, Community Development Services.
Okay, so Mr. Wood, can you tell us about this case before us?
Yes, sir. We received a complaint about two campers being parked on the lot. Y'all know the case number. This was on 716 Hayes Street. Oh, okay. Here's the map with the GIS information on it. This is the first inspection on 10/22. Then the ordinance is 158-161. Part A says no more than one of the following commercial vehicles, bus or trailer of any time, including travel, boat, or camping. And then also that camping cannot be parked in the front of a building line for 72 hours, or unless it's behind the front building line. The second inspection was on November 7th. They went right back out and posted it. Campers were still there. This is the timeline. We received the complaint on 10/22, went out and did our inspection. NOV was issued at that time. On the 7th of November, went back out, did another inspection. No work had been done, so they issued a citation. On 11/26, Ms. Henderson came in and talked to me. She signed the request for a hearing. And then, of course, that was submitted on the same day. And as of this morning, that's the property there. It's still in violation as of this morning. Got any questions?
Okay, Mr. Wood, can you tell me, are these licensed or registered vehicles in our county?
I do not believe so. I didn't actually go out and take the pictures, but I do not believe they are.
Okay, and do you know whether or not they're operational for on
Ms.
the road?
Henderson said the one, if you look at the picture on the left, and I'm sure she will correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe the one to the left in that picture is. The other one does not appear to be.
Okay. Okay, and one final question, are these campers in the back of the residence that you showed a previous picture that showed a home with the?
I'll go back to the map.
Oh,
If you
okay,
look there, you can see the two.
okay, and the
So-
home is facing,
Right,
Hayes
this is a
Street.
double frontage lot, so that comes into it there.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see.
So
Okay.
it backs up to, what's that street up there? Is that
Young
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 Love?
Love.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions for Mr. Wood by board members?
Can you go back to the ordinance just a minute?
Yes, sir.
Well, this is commercial bus vehicle.
Trailer, any type, travel. Vehicle, bus, trailer. Type of travel, open camping. Okay. No, commercial is just commercial, that goes right there, and also bus. This, that's it right there. Commercial van, it's not commercial, you don't have commercial buses. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Mr. Wood? Board members? Okay, thank you,
All
sir.
right. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this.
Okay, Ms. Henderson, can you come forward, please? Okay, before you get started, can you please state your full name and address for the record, please?
My name is Denise Henderson, and my full address is 1190 Patton Place, Oak Grove, Kentucky.
Okay. All right, Ms. Henderson, can you tell us about these trailers that's on your property?
Yes, well, one trailer, I'm fixing the house to move in because I'm downsizing. My kids are all grown. I'm downsizing, so I had all of the things to fix the house in it, but we had the storm, and the storm fell over on one of the RVs. So I brought another RV out because the guy was running the electric and all that stuff, the generators and all that stuff from it. I did hire somebody to move the one that fell away, but he said he couldn't get it to Saturday. I already paid him, but I can't move it myself. I do have a Jeep, but I can't maneuver those big old, pull them out. So I did pay somebody and to move one and move the other one up, but I own both lots and I'm planning on moving there. Somebody stole everything that was there. I have a police report, if it stole everything that was there, so I'm starting over. So, and that's why the other camper was moved there to lock the things up, and the other one, the tree fell on it when we had the storm. And I paid, the city came out and just charged me $2,000, and I'm paying that now for that same property, paying $200 a month for the same property, that, for the tree and all that stuff to be moved. So, I know it should be moved in a timely fashion. Once I found out about it, he told me what to do, and so I did hire a guy, but I just have to wait for him. So,
And so you plan on moving into the home that's
I am,
in that,
it's constructed to a two-bedroom, two-bathroom for me. I'm gonna move in there eventually after I finish it. It'll be my residence.
okay. And this other trailer has only been on your property, what, for a short period of time or? how
No,
long?
the first one that's up front, it's dented. A tree fell on it. It was
Okay.
where everything was at.
Okay,
So we can't, it's leaking in there. So we're
Okay.
gonna move it. The other one that we brought, we're putting the stuff in there. You can't even lock the door on the first one because a tree,
damaged
and
it.
I didn't have it insured. A
Okay,
tree totally took it out.
Okay.
So there's no generators or nothing. I moved all the generators and everything I moved it out and moved it to the other one. He told me if I pull it up some, the first one, pull it up to the line of the, I guess, the baseline. And so that's what I told the gentleman. I told him to pull it up to the baseline for me and to pull the other one off. I own a restaurant in Oak Grove. I asked him to pull the other one to the back of Oak Grove for me, my restaurant in Oak Grove. Just pull it behind there until I can find something to do with it. And so I just, like I said, I just have to wait until, till he's, you know,
And you have someone already lined up
I
to,
do, I already paid him.
to
Yes.
do that?
Mhm.
Okay.
When did you
All right.
hire that person to move it? Was it after you
Uh,
talked to the city?
Yes, I did, sir.
Did they give you a time limit to have that moved before they would do
Uh,
anything?
No, I knew I was coming here today. But I did, as soon as I left, the guy said he couldn't get to me. And so, you know, trust me, I tried to offer him a little bit more money. He said it is what it is. He was like, he's really booked up. He has, you know, he has to come when he come. So, I mean, he's coming from Clarksville. I don't really know anybody in Hopkinsville, or, you know, so I would have hired somebody. But somebody gave me a number, because you got to have somebody with a big old truck. That other one got to have a certain hitch or something to be pulled, and that one's just got to be pulled up just like a couple of inches to the line where y'all want it at on the line. Pull it up some, and then the other one will be pulled off. If y'all give me about 2 days, 2 to 3 days, I know for sure, and I can bring proof that I have it, because I already paid for it.
But you've had plenty of time. You've had time before. The guy just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, like I said, I hadn't had nobody. I do have a Jeep, but I'm just gonna tell you the honest side. I have a Jeep just for show. I don't know how to pull nothing or anything in that nature, and I didn't pull them there. My contractor did, and his truck is broke down. So that's why I hired Mr. James McCullen to move them. We'll move just one and leave the other.
Okay, any other questions from board members? Okay, all right, thank you, ma'am. Okay, we're going to close the hearing on this case so the board can deliberate in open session. We first need to determine whether or not a violation was committed. And so the floor is open for discussion or to entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, based on the evidence that was presented in reading the ordinance, it's pretty clear you can't have more than one camper on your property, and there are two on this one. Even though she says she's trying to get it off and the citation was issued, there was two campers on there. So like to hear some other comments, but I'm thinking that it is a violation.
Any other comments from board members?
I agree with
Okay.
Mr. Bruce.
Mr. Chairman, I put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, the motion is that the property is in violation by having two trailers on the property. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by saying of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, so now we need to determine the penalty. The penalty for this case, the fine ranges from $200 to $400, plus there's a $200 administrative fee. So the floor again is open for discussion or entertain a motion regarding the penalty.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion that we assess the minimum $200 penalty fine and $200 administration fee.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on that motion? All in favor, let me know by saying of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, Ms. Henderson, we have a paper you signed. Before you leave, if you don't mind. Okay, we're gonna move on. Next item on our agenda. I can get to it. Okay, next, Code Officer Mark DeArmond, and the case is case number CE BPM 24-10 10-005, Mark Porter. Is Mr. Porter here?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Porter's not here. Okay, all right, Mr. DeArmond, let me swear you in, and you can give us a summary of the case. You please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Okay, can you please state your full name and position for the record?
Mark DeArmond, Code Enforcement Officer for the Hopkinsville Fire Department.
Okay, Ms. DeArmond, can you tell us about this case on our agenda?
.1105 South Campbell is a structure we had numerous complaints on from exterior issues. The Google map from 2022 shows damage primarily on the left and the front side. Property owner is Mr. Mark Porter, mailing address of P.O. Box 764 here in Hopkinsville. This case started back in October 17th, when the initial complaint came in and regarding the exterior issues and so the inspection was strictly exterior property. There was an extensive homeless camp in the backyard, trash and debris all around the house. No response from the documents sent to Mr. Porter in October, and on November 13th, a reinspection occurred. The homeless camp was still there. We could see more damage, more issues with the home, and so turned into a notice of violation for an unsafe structure. No response from Mr. Porter on November 25th. Citation was issued for the same violation of the unsafe structure. Attempted to call Mr. Porter on December the 6th, after any comments from him from beginning this case in October till December the 6th, no answer. Tried again December the 9th, yesterday. Made contact by phone and learned that he has not used Post Office Box 764 in 2 years. So all the documents that we've sent, he had not received. He gave us a new address. It's recommended that we close this case based on him not receiving the documents. A reinspection will start next week with the same issues, but be able to submit the documents to him to the correct address and start the process over.
Okay,
And in your consideration in the board hearing today, here's an example of what we were seeing. Rather extensive.
Well, looking at these pictures, we want you to go as fast as legally possible to get this house, to get this matter taken care of.
He and I have agreed to, in fact, they were outside the door just a couple of minutes ago. We're going to meet tomorrow. We're going to talk about this and confirm the address, and the process of the case starts all over under a different number with the correct mailing address.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, do we need to file a motion just to
We
drop this
probably
one?
do need a motion to dismiss this citation and allow them to reissue it at a later date.
For clarification, Mr. DeArmond, are you asking just to continue this on the agenda to then be heard again, so you don't have to renotice, or are you wanting this to be dismissed?
I'm recommending dismiss,
Okay.
start a new case. And when we start the new case, when we start with a notice of violation, gives him at least a chance to make some improvements. If not, we're going to stay with the same process and the same deadlines that he would always have that he had this case.
Based on that, I do think then a motion and a second to dismiss would be appropriate.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay,
Chairman,
so,
I'm so moved. Dismiss.
I'll second that motion.
Mr.
okay,
DeArmond,
go ahead.
I want to ask him a question.
Yeah, I got some questions too. Okay.
So your recommendation is to dismiss this, and you're going to move straight back into an unsafe structure citation, right? This began as basic property maintenance. It moved to unsafe structure. You're saying we're going to go straight to unsafe structure, correct address, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, understood.
Okay, so it's been motion and second. on this motion. So we're gonna carry the motion. However, question I have is a couple. First of all, this PO box, is it still in his name?
No, he said it was a family member that passed away some 2+ years ago, and he never
Okay.
changed.
And those notices don't get returned?
His,
They weren't returned to the fire department?
the notices that we sent regarding this case, never was returned from the post office, from the PO box. We had the receipt that it was sent, but we never got the failure to deliver or unable to deliver.
Okay, and then one other thing is, I know you mentioned starting over, and that's fine. And including issuing a NOV, but the NOV is optional. And looking at the condition of this place, I don't know if an NOV is necessary since you've already been in communication with them.
And
That
as I
is-
mentioned, just mentioned, yes, this one will go straight to a citation,
Okay,
starting, the process will begin next week.
okay. All right, so there's a motion that's been made that this citation be dismissed. There's a motion and second. Any question on the motion? All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. All right, next case, and Mr. DeArmond, you're up again, is Tracy Brown present? Okay, all right, okay, Ms. Brown, we're gonna allow him to continue to give the city's presentation on this, and then we'll call you forward, okay? All right. Okay, Ms. DeArmond, can you tell us about this next case?
This too was a complaint that was called in regarding the conditions of the house it's believed that homeless were going in and out on a regular basis. So an inspection began on November the 7th of this year. This property, 1943 West 7th, is at like the intersection, if you will, of Princeton Road and 6880, cross street from Stallin's Auto and the Woodshed, if that helps folks, and right in front of the previous Ebonite properties. Google Street View dated in 23. Again, the property owner is Miss Tracy Brown, mailing address, 1943 West 7th. And that is the mailing address based upon the PVA records. On the door at the carport is a Tracy White phone number. And I've used that number to contact Miss White. So I cannot answer the difference between Tracy Brown and Tracy White, but this was the lady of which I've spoken with several times in this case. This particular note is on the entrance door off of the carport. Day of the inspection, a walk around found the left rear door, glass broken and the main door open, and access was gained inside. Around the home, around the structure, there were some soffit and fascia boards down along with gutters. Inside the home, back left was a number of dog kennels. I understand that there was some police activity with some dog breeding activities in this house at some point. Did not pull the records to see. Photos on the bottom right show conditions inside, as well as all of these are representative of what the two-story home looked like during the inspection on November the 7th. There is a dirt cellar, and in the cellar, we found foundation walls that were crumbling, the brick. There were posts. If you look at the ones on the left, you see where the brick have crumbled and fallen to the back. The two photos on the right, the top one is like a 6x6 beam or 6x6 post that's put in for support. And the lower small photo is the same beam with inappropriate cribbing at the bottom for its support. And you can see where it's kicked out some. There are 3 exterior structures, accessory structures on this property. And these are some of the examples we'll illustrate through an aerial view of where those structures are and the trash, garbage, and other debris throughout the yard. More of the same from the exterior structures. This one went to a citation on November the 13th. The notice was posted in the paper, and the regular mail and the certified mail was returned as non-deliverable. As a refresher, on November the 7th, an inspection was conducted. A citation for an unsafe structure was issued on November the 13th. I received a call from Ms. Tracy White on November the 15th concerned about the purpose of the inspection, why we were there, and our findings. And once during that conversation, I was asked for an extension, and we gave her an extension of November 28th year. On yesterday, December the 9th, we still heard nothing, and I called Ms. White reminding her of the hearing tonight and what the status of the home was. She advised that she had turned the property over to an auctioneer that would represent her here tonight. Later yesterday evening, I got word to call Mr. Goodwin, the auctioneer, and he said he had done some cleanup on the property, had signed a contract to auction off the property, and let him know, I informed him that nothing can be done with that property until it goes before the board in the hearing and the case is resolved. And tonight, the board hearing. Water's been off since 2021. Electric's been off since 2019. Gas has been disconnected since 2021. We follow the chapter 163.03 of the basic property maintenance standards and the checklist conditions. Item 1, the foundation. The left photo is a porch column. The right photo is a crack in probably the granite, the masonry that goes over the foundation on the backside. Yes, small, but when you go back inside, if you recall the photos earlier, that crack in that skim masonite covering is in the same vicinity as these foundation walls in the back of the home. We look at the porch, the two front porch, of the four columns, the two circled, you'll see the bricks falling and separating on both sides. The one on the right, the yellow line is intended to represent that column has shifted, and those four columns are supporting a considerable weight of the front porch. There's no really visible damage to the roof looking at it from ground level. However, when you inside and in the attic space and the crawl space, the attic space of the home, right at the chimney, there's evidence of fire damage. And I'm speculating it could be a chimney fire, but there's charred wood on the front side, would be the back side of that chimney, or the front side as you walk into the attic space. And to the photo on the right is to the right of that chimney, additional charred, and the nails are showing where there has been some shifting as a result of the fire or whatever caused the charring in and around the chimney. Several windows were broken. The left rear door, as spoke earlier, was open to allow access. These are some of the photos of the trash and debris in the backyard around those structures. The top left is a accessory structure, a shed, if you will, that's in the camouflaged by the trees and the brush, and I'll show you that aerially here now. The photo on the circle on the top left is a long three-sided shed that has set up as dog kennels with the gates and the partitions in. The oblong oval in the center is where the location of where the other shed is. It's in the woods in the thickets. And the circle on the right is a three-sided shed to the right, to the side of the house. This is some of the examples of the walls inside the home. The center one shows water damage, and that water damage is not in the vicinity of that chimney. The floors are all hardwood. There is in the lower left photo, there are some planks nailed and covered. I suspect a soft or a hole in that floor. Plus, there's some moisture stains or other stains in the floor Not sure whether it's water or what caused that. Photo on the right, the red arrow is indicating warped boards, typical of what's found with water damage. The ceiling, the top left, there is a section of the ceiling that's missing. Finish is falling on the center photo, and there's a section of the plaster on the upper right photo of the ceiling that's literally falling through from the floor ceiling joist. Electric meter has been removed, and again, the electric's been off for 5 years. Here are some examples of the wiring inside the home. The outlet on the left side is an orange extension cord that's wired into an outlet. And then there's Romex going to a light screwed and nailed to the wall. Gas meter's been removed, and according to Adams, it's been disconnected for 3 years. One bathroom was found. The tub and the commode is to the left around the corner. All the faucet features and the water lines have been disconnected. Then the kitchen is the other photo, and that sink likewise has been disconnected. There were no obvious issues with the exterior wall with the vinyl siding. It is obviously not a mobile home structure, and the handrails on the front porch are not necessary because of the height of the porch is not only but 2 steps up, so that is NA. So the exterior structure met 7 of the 8 applicable unsafe structure items for an 88%. Interior structure is 100%. 11 out of 11 items were failed in inspection for an overall 18 out of 19 or 95% unsafe structure. There is, in addition to, it's not scored, the item dealing with a safety hazard. There was an open well or an open hole in the ground in the back that looked to be either a cistern or a well. And again, with the conditions of where the dogs and kennels there is, and the structure of the foundation, particularly the foundation, there is some imminent danger with this structure. We found no previous cases, and the city says there's been no taxes or liens on this property. Photo as of today.
How big is that hole to that cistern, diameter wise?
Sorry again?
How big is the hole? Is it
In
big
the
enough
ground?
that you talked about going to the cistern? Is it big enough for a person to fall in?
2.5 by 2.5 foot square.
So a person
Big
walking
size.
there could fall into it.
Yes, sir.
You noted kennels. Were there any dogs on the property?
No.
Any other questions from board members? Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, ma'am, you mind coming to the podium? Will you be the only one speaking, or? Okay, well, I need,
He'll be doing the most talking.
okay, sir, I need you to come to the podium too, if, so I can swear you both in. You please raise your right hand, right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do. Okay, ma'am, when we start with you, will you please state your full name and address for the record?
Tracy White. Well, I was Tracy White. I got a divorce. Now it's Tracy Brown.
Okay,
1943 West 7th Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
okay, so your name is Tracy Brown. That's your
Yes,
current
that's
name.
why he got it confused on the door.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, and who's with you?
This is my auctioneer. He's
Oh.
going to be auctioning off the property for me.
Okay, okay, and sir, can you give us your name and,
Yes, sir. My name is John Goodwin. I'm with
Okay.
Goodwin Auctions and Real Estate out of Cadiz. And,
Okay.
We're in the process of changing our name. My brother passed away, but we'll be changing our name officially. It's neither here nor there, but we'll be going to Magnum Real Estate and Auction Group. But we've been in the auction real estate business for about 32 years and had a presence here in Hopkinsville as well throughout the years. So
okay, Mr. Goodwin. Goodwin, okay, ma'am, you have the floor, or Mr. Goodwin, tell us about this property.
well, you done?
Yes.
Okay. I think what goes back to her father, health was ailing back in 2022, 2021, and they were staying there. They had a small fire in the kitchen, in the back kitchen, or you said the
In the bathroom.
bathroom.
Mhm.
Had a small fire in the bathroom. They had another property over in Trigg County in Cadiz. So they, in essence, with his ailing health, just packed up and moved over to Cadiz in Trigg County, to thinking maybe he would improve and they'd get a chance to do the repairs and get back or what have you. So the property wasn't never abandoned intentionally. It's just something that happens as life moves on, She was the only sibling, I guess you'd say, only child that had a vested interest in the property. Therefore, that's why she wound up with the property from her father. Her father, she heired the property from her father. I think he did it to you in 2015, maybe.
Yes.
That's what I did some quick research today. But this has been the Browns' home since 1965, roughly. And Miss Brown said that she'd made a home there as well, off and on, since 1972, since she was about 7 years old. So a lot of memories, a lot of things went on. She was over in Trigg County. Since then, Mr. Brown passed away on January 26, 2023. After that point, I think Miss Brown went into some significant health issues herself. She's in the process now of trying to seek disability. She hasn't been able to work, so she had no income, nothing to do anything with the property. We've talked about the property several times, and of course, when you inherit something, with today's times, especially when there's a lot of memories and family stuff there, you want to absorb all you can and savor all you can, save all you can. Of course, it's come to her attention as of recently that she's not going to be able to do anything with the property to rehabilitate the property. She has no intention on moving into the property. And ironically enough, we were talking this past summer about going ahead and taking the property to auction. Had some conversations with with Mike and the guy there at the new, I'll call it Ebonite for the sake of you all knowing where it's at. I don't know what the name of the new factory is now, but had some conversation with him. The offer wasn't reasonable in our opinion. Our professional real estate opinion wasn't reasonable. But like I said, since then, she got the notice on the door. She called me a couple of weeks ago. Of course, that played right into Thanksgiving. And I told her I'd get with her as quickly as I could. So we talked again right after Thanksgiving. I sent one of my guys up this past week for 3 days and just to do some basic cleaning because it was a mess outside. I mean, nobody's denying that it's an eyesore and probably a safety hazard in some ways. So my guy was up there for 3 days and did quite a bit of weed eating and trimming and picking up garbage. Her car's inoperable now, so she rode with me tonight up here, and I stopped her by there briefly as we come in just to see the progress that he had made. We had already set a absolute, keyword absolute auction date for January the 9th to auction the property off on January the 9th. I did contact Mr. DeArmond yesterday after I got his information from her and told him, I guess I had a little misunderstanding. I thought we were sending our guy up, to do some cleaning and go ahead and start making some progress. We're going to clean this place up and we're going to market it. And he's like, whoa. Like, the way it works in Hopkinsville, so I guess I thought I was in Cadiz. We don't have a lot of presence of a board like you guys do, code enforcement things. And we do appreciate the board. It's very vital to, any town that wants to grow and prosper. But like I said, he did do some cleanup and stuff, and we had the auction. But Mr. DeArmond did let me know that we would have to go through the board and seek you all's advice on this to see. He said it couldn't be leased, it couldn't be sold, it couldn't be done anything at this point since it had entered into the, beginning of a condemnation stage or whatever. We respect that. However, as a real estate professional, I have went ahead and after she signed the contract a couple weeks ago, I have went ahead and did some talking and marketing on the property, some quiet marketing on the property, and got some pretty significant offers on the property. I think what we've determined is the property, the highest and best use of the property would be for the structures to be gone. Then you would have a commercial property there coming into the edge of Hopkinsville. So I sought the advice of a friend of mine here in Hopkinsville. I won't name his name, but someone you all probably know well, just to get a price. He finally got back to me today after I pressed him. I said, I need a price before we go to the meeting on this. So he finally got back. He gave me a price of what his price would be to tear everything down, haul everything off. So I told her, I said, we've got options, depending on what they want us to do. You know, if we have to tear it down, you know, I don't think anybody, with my 30 years experience in real estate business, I don't think anybody would buy the property with intentions on making a homestead out of it. I think everybody would be under the assumption that the property's in, you know, bad enough disrepair. I mean, it would cost a fortune with today's prices and subs and laborers and things to ever get this property back. I think anybody that bought the property, that paid probably what it would bring, would have the better interest of the beauty of Hopkinsville, if you will, at stake as well. So I foresee the property being sold as a commercial value property. Like I said, I've already got some, you know, offers and some, you know, some breakfast table bids, as you will. A couple of investors, a couple of attorneys here in Hopkinsville have made offers on the property as well. So I guess at this point, we would just seek the advice of the board, you know, out of respect, and respectfully ask, you know, the board, if they will, to give us time to market the property. And I guess we're at you all's mercy as to what we would need to do before we market the property. I've never quite been in this situation before leading up to an auction. Again, we've got a price of what it would take to take it down. In a perfect world, you know, we would just go ahead and take everything down and clean it up and sell a nice green grassy, you know, 7/10 of an acre, you know, commercial property in the edge of Hopkinsville, you know, location. But unfortunately, Ms. Brown doesn't have the resources to do that.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Goodman. So, thank you for coming, first of all. And so I think I like how you laid out what your plans are and what your intention is in selling the property. So I guess my question is, you have someone lined up that can clear the property, haul everything away, you know?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How quickly can that be done?
I think you probably could do it pretty quickly. I mean, honestly, I think you probably could do it pretty quickly. I was looking at my notes here. I've had a couple other meetings today, and I've made some notes quickly, some sitting on the front row. But I will throw a couple other things at you guys, just out of respect. I want you to understand too, with the widening process of the highway coming to town, that comes into play. And I guess the property line now becomes right to the porch. So again, I think you can rest assured that no one's going to try to set up a house, you know, a homestead there and make that their home, because if I'm understanding correctly, I'm not sure that the highway and the actual pavement is going to come over to the porch as much as maybe there were some easements back in the day that wasn't obtained properly. And I think what I would like to call a little housekeeping was done. They had to do a little housekeeping, and a little money was, you know, exchanged. Ms. Brown was paid a little bit of money just to sign some easements, if you will. But what I found ironic of the whole thing is Rodney Williams of the state of Kentucky back in the summer was the appraiser. I'm not familiar with Mr. Williams. I guess he come out of Frankfurt or something, but Rodney Williams is his name. And I do apologize. I changed vehicles at the last minute to pick her up because I was running late. And I had a file for all you all with information and everything, but I'll share it with you verbally. Mr. Williams had appraised this property back in the summer for $115,000, which, you know, that's neither here nor there, but I will give you the breakdown of what he had. Just 2,754 square feet of the structure. He give a value of $89,700. There was one of the, he said barn, so there's several barns. I don't know which barn he's referring to, but one barn was given a value of $5,000, and one shed was given a value of $200. And then the 66/100ths of an acre was given a value, the lot value of $12,900. So I don't know where his figures come from there. Like I said, I think he may be from a different area. He might be from, not be from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. So.
Okay, Mr. Goodman. So we can move this along. Then, so if you were to market and auction this property, you would auction it as is. Are you proposing to auction it as is with the structure or with the structures removed?
We were hoping to auction it as is, just from a financial standpoint, because again, she doesn't have the finances to remove the property now. What I will tell you is what I had already told her based on Mr. DeArmond's, you know, write-ups and paperwork and things he's presented. Of course, auction method is the only way you can sell a piece of property as is in the state of Kentucky. But I would pass on to the people that this property is under condemnment, you know, from the city. I don't think you're going to, don't come in here and think you're going to make a home. It's not going to happen, you know, because you got a guy gonna be breathing right down your collar instead of Miss Brown's, the next day after the deed passes. So I would be, if I were just in a perfect world, we would have the auction on January the 9th. It would be an absolute auction. It would sell to the highest bidder, no reservations. So it would be transferred, and closing on it before January the 31st. And like I said, I would cover myself as well as you guys and Mr. DeArmond as best as I can from my legal standpoint, saying that, we got documentations that this property has been condemned more or less, and,
And has to be removed.
yeah, you're gonna have to remove the property. So if you're gonna try to make a home here, you need to go out to the other side of town and find you somewhere else. Now, that's what we would respectfully ask, to be
Okay.
done.
Chairman.
So,
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
Let
city
me just
attorney.
point out to make sure everybody's clear, the Basic Property Maintenance Code provides that in this situation, the property cannot be sold, cannot be auctioned, cannot be leased, cannot be
that's
transferred.
what he.
Right,
Let me know yesterday.
So the
when we
only,
talked, so.
the only way that what you're proposing would be acceptable is, number one, if this board found that there was not an unsafe structure on that property, or if the city agreed to allow the transfer, and then that agreement would have to be approved by this board. We've done that on very limited occasions because only when the new buyer agrees to bring it up to code, or in this case, to demolish.
Right.
So just to make sure you understand what the options are.
Can I ask
I
you,
wish I was
Okay.
at the liberty to tell you who, especially, two of the four people that's interested
Okay,
in property.
well, there's no need for us to know that.
I know that.
I think,
I
do you have a question? Let's get the other board
yeah,
members.
can I ask you a question? I think you covered this. Your real estate opinion is the highest and best use of the property is for it to be cleared, correct?
Absolutely.
I think that's what you said, right?
Yes.
So in your conversations, breakfast table bidding, as you put it, have you made clear to the people you're talking to, putting feelers out about buying this at auction, that the intent is that, right?
We've got four prospective buyers right now, one of them being Mike that owns the factory there. Again, we'll call it Ebonite for now because I don't know the name. But Mike being one of them, he's actually made a verbal offer to her, but.
On the basis of tearing it down, right?
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
he and the other three people, all four people are wanting to destroy the property and make a lot out of it, make a commercial lot out of it.
Yeah, I think you've cleared the field for us pretty well.
Okay.
Unless everybody has some other questions, I think we can
I
probably
don't think so.
deliberate.
Any
I
other
think you've
questions?
got to do what our city attorney said, and that is, you're going to we're going to probably vote on this thing in just a minute, and then you're going to get with the city and try to get permission to sell this thing.
Okay.
And when's our next meeting?
Christmas Eve.
That's,
Oh, okay, we're not meeting Christmas. Man, I thought we,
okay.
okay, I guess it'd be
Wait,
in
we're-
January.
We got a
Y'all can
meeting on
meet.
January 14th, so it
Uh,
can't be sold on the 9th.
Okay, it's no problem. It's no
Yeah.
problem with that. Long as,
Okay.
Mr. DeArmond and everybody's aware that Ms. Brown is cooperating, buying through the help of, our company, and we're going to get this right, so. One of the funny tidbit that I shared with her on the way up here, I talked to Ms. Strader today, and they had the property value, that taxable value at she's paid taxes on $65,000 since
Oh, wow.
2008. So I told her, I said, I think we could find some kind of common ground here to get it sold eventually. So is there anything that you
Okay.
guys need from us? Any kind of proposal or anything, or is it just
No, I don't believe so.
before the next meeting?
You just need to work with the city after we
Yeah.
vote.
Okay, when you say with
Okay.
the city,
The guy sitting behind you,
okay,
Mr. Yeoman.
DeArmond.
gotcha.
Are there
So Mr. DeArmond and Mr. Sibbles is the two people we need to work with.
Right.
Okay. Is this something, and it would have to have the final approval from you all at y'all's next meeting on the 14th of January?
I think we need to deliberate and figure what order it's
let's
gonna be.
deliberate
Yeah,
and make
I'm
a
not trying to back you in the
decision,
corner to get
and
you,
then,
right.
you'll know where to go from there. But yeah, according to the city attorney, that would have to come back before us.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
guess in
I wasn't
January.
trying to back you in the corner. I guess my only thing is I just want clarification that we don't do anything except just talk to them and wait till January 14th.
If you want to contact me either after the meeting or just give me a call, I can discuss with you exactly a game plan depending on what this board determines. We don't know yet what the determination is,
And I can
but
let you in on some more stuff too with the plans and the
Very
property
well.
off the record. So
Okay.
that sounds
All right,
great.
we're going to close the hearing on this case so the board can deliberate in open session. So the floor is open for discussion or to entertain a motion. Our first item we need to determine is whether or not a violation existed in this case before us.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the city has proved their case and a violation does exist.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, now we need to determine the penalty for this case, and the fine ranges from $350 to $700, plus there's a $200 administration fee. So the floor is open for discussion or to entertain a motion. I guess especially we need to determine
Yeah.
what way ahead do we want to,
Can I make a
Okay.
request here, Mr. Whelan? Tell me if we're on base here. I think the most expeditious thing would be we've declared it unsafe, is to, tell me if this is in bounds, is to allow them to auction it with this being completely open, that they know that that's what they're getting into, with the understanding that it's under citation and that within a specified period of time, up to 90 days from January 9th, whoever buys it's going to have to tear it down, that they're buying that obligation. Is that?
That's
in
one
bounds?
option, but I'm not sure this board has the authority to
Okay.
include that in an order. You can either find it unsafe or not unsafe, and then you set the penalty, and you can order an immediate demo. But what I would anticipate is if it's found unsafe, then the city could agree that it could be auctioned or it could be demoed by agreement, and then that agreement brought back for subsequent approval.
Could we give them use the 90-day clause and then move that out? Okay, we can do
You
that.
can only go up to 90 days.
Gotcha, okay.
And in that
Mr.
way-
Chairman, I move, I'm gonna move that we fine them, the minimum fine, $350, $200 administrative fee, that they be given 90 days to remedy the situation, or the city can go ahead and demolish the property after that. And that's 90 days from today.
okay? All right. Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand. So does that mechanically, does that have to come back to us, or is this carrying with it?
I would anticipate if there's an agreement to transfer the property, then that agreement would be brought back to you for approval
Okay.
Before or after?
before.
Okay.
But we're designating it as an unsafe structure. We want that on the record.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then, so then it's between them and the city as far as
Get
whether they
permission
can sell
to
it.
Sell it.
Okay, understood.
Okay, so did we get a second? Yes, we did. Okay. Any other questions on the motion?
And they have 90 days from today to resolve it with the city
Resolve
and make a,
everything, yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, all in favor, let me know by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. All right. Okay, Ms. Brown, there's some paper we need to have you sign before you leave. Okay, and we're gonna quickly move on through the remainder of our agenda. Next on our agenda is unfinished business of the hearings. There's none. New business other than hearings. We have an order to dismiss citation, and then we have some default final orders. Okay, Mr. West, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Okay, can you please state your full name, employer, and position for the record?
Yes, sir. My name is Darnell West. I work for Hopkinsville Fire Department as a code enforcement officer.
Okay, Mr. West, can you address these citations on our agenda, on agenda item 8, first with the order to dismiss citation, and then tell us the procedures that were followed regarding the default final orders?
Yes, sir. So on section item 8A, there is an order to dismiss a citation, but I'm actually up here to dismiss that one. And if you turn to the next page and you see CE GTW 2410-2 102, it's a Zachary and Macy formal. I'm also going to dismiss that citation as well. The reason for the 141 citation, the dismissal for that one, is because that property owner was not in violation. It was actually the neighbor's issue. So we're going to dismiss that one. The neighbor did take care of the problem, so we don't have to get our wonderful public works guys on them. As far as the other one, 102, that property was sold prior to the citation. So we have to reissue that citation to the new property owner.
Okay, and can you tell us the procedures followed regarding the default final orders?
Yes, sir. So for each one of these cases, we received a complaint. An inspection is made. If the property was not a repeat offender, the property owner got a notice of violation, giving them 10 days to respond or to fix the problem. If they did not do so, by the time we made our second inspection, a citation was issued and bringing it to you guys today.
Okay, and were the procedures mandated by Chapter 33 of the Hopkinsville Code Ordinance followed in the cases generated tonight? on
To the
agenda
best of
tonight?
my knowledge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, board members, we have two things to address here. First, the order to dismiss, Mr. West identified agenda item 8A as one cases to dismiss, and the other case that he's requesting dismissal on is case number CEGTW-24-10-102. It's under 8D, and it's the fourth case listed on that list of cases. So we'll entertain a motion and a second regarding the dismissal.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we dismiss the two cases that you brought to light that on the agenda.
So move, second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, now, we need also a motion in regards to default final orders on our agenda. They have the cases listed plus the fine, plus there is a $200 administrative fee. They're on the agenda items 8B through G, with the exception of the case we dismissed earlier, case number CEGTW-24-10-102.
Did you say the administrative fee was how much? 100?
No, I said it's two. 100. Oh, it's one, okay.
Okay. Mr.
Okay,
Chairman,
it's $100, okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we enter a default final order on the cases on the agenda from starting with 8B through 8G, except for the one that was previously dismissed, and set the fines noted in the agenda with a $100 administrative fee.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, let me know by sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, next agenda item is announcements from board members or staff.
I just-
Okay, being none.
I just want to say one thing.
Yes.
I come past 9th Street last couple of days. I'll commend the code enforcement officers for doing their part and getting the Family Dollar tore down. It's completely leveled and gone.
Yes.
I think there's a little more debris to remove, but thank you guys for doing your job and getting that taken care of.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. Well, listen, since we're not meeting on Christmas Eve, I thought y'all wanted to come on out, but since we're not meeting on Christmas Eve, I do want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you in January, okay?
Thank you.
If nothing further, we'll stand dismissed. We'll dismiss this meeting.
City Council.